What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and breaking news coming out as President Joe Biden has signed into law the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, and I'm going to be sharing with you the video footage. We're going to dive into all the details in this video, and also stimulus reconciliation, the path forward and where things stand with that stimulus bill. And yes, this is your stimulus and infrastructure bill update. But first up, take a look at this video footage of what unfolded yesterday as President Biden signed that infrastructure bill into law.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Bravo. Thank you.
Democrats and Republicans can come together and deliver results. We can do this. Here in Washington, we've heard countless speeches and promises and white papers from experts. But today, we're finally getting this done. So my message to the American people is this: America's moving again, and your life is going to change for the better. Give it half a chance. The American people have never, ever, ever let this nation down. And it's our job to give our people that chance. It's our job to come together and make sure we remain a nation of possibilities. Let's remember this day. Let's remember we can come together. And most of all, let's remember what we've got done for the American people when we do come together. I truly believe that 50 years from now, historians are going to look back at this moment and say, that's the moment America began to win the competition of the 21st century.
So there you have it. That was yesterday evening as President Joe Biden signed that infrastructure bill into law, which we are hearing is going to be helping create tons of new jobs and rebuild the nation's infrastructure. Now, we're seeing articles coming out like this. Take a look. Biden hailed bipartisanship as he signed an infrastructure bill that he said would make life better for Americans. And also, we're going to be taking a look at this article right here. Here is what's in the infrastructure bill that Biden signed today. Now, we're going to be covering these details, and also, now Congress is turning their attention towards the second portion of this package, which is human infrastructure, or the spending bill, aka the stimulus reconciliation bill, which will provide money directly to people. So I'm going to get you caught up on all the details, but before we dive in, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. I really appreciate it if you would just smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps me out a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to stay up to date. I'll keep you up to speed on everything going on. And also, thank you so much for all the support on the second channel, Steve Ram Finance. It is growing continually. If you're interested in growing wealth and learning about personal finance, consider joining. I will pin a comment so that way you can click the link and go subscribe. Looking forward to launching that here very soon. And if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of, very accessible. All you got to do is shoot me a DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Best way by far to get a hold of me. Here on YouTube, there's a ton of comments, so I don't see them all, and also sometimes scammers go in there and they try to trick people out of their personal information or tell them to contact you on WhatsApp, and they pretend they're me, and you guys don't fall for it. It's not me. If you have specific questions, contact me on Instagram. But with that being said, let's dive into these articles and get you caught up on the latest on stimulus and infrastructure. All right, so first up, link in the description below to this article that came out from the New York Times. I always cite my sources so that way you can see them for yourself. And the article says, President Biden signed a $1 trillion infrastructure bill into law on Monday afternoon, a bipartisan victory that will pour billions into the nation's roads, ports, and power lines. Now, while the bill stops short of realizing its full-scale ambitions for overhauling America's transportation and energy systems, Mr. Biden pointed to it as evidence that lawmakers could work across party lines to solve problems in Washington, and said it would better position the U.S. against China and other nations seeking to dominate the emerging industries of the 21st century economy. Now, jumping down, he said, my message for the American people is this: America's moving again, and your lives are going to change for the better, as we saw him say in that speech right before he signed the bill. Now, let's take a look at this article, link in the description below. Here's what's in the infrastructure bill that Biden signed. Now, just to clarify, this is the first portion of the package specifically focused on infrastructure and rebuilding America's roads, bridges, and highways. Now, the second portion that we're going to be discussing here shortly is the stimulus reconciliation bill. The second portion focused specifically on getting money directly towards people. So that one they're working on right now. They're hoping to pass it this week in the House. We will see. And also, it might get adjusted in the Senate if Senator Joe Manchin doesn't like it, because they literally need every single senator to agree upon it. So we'll be discussing that one here in just a second, but here is what is included in the infrastructure bill. Now, the article says federal and state officials have identified priority projects that have been put off for years and may now move ahead as a result of the $1 trillion infrastructure bill that President Biden signed into law on Monday, such as repairing hundreds of aging bridges and building dozens of new ones or extending rail lines. Now, the bill also funds a number of other broad initiatives, such as expanding broadband internet in rural corners of the country and cleaning up heavily polluted Superfund sites. In total, the measure contains $550 billion in new funds to spread around in different areas of need. And here are some of the areas that are covered. Here we go. $73 billion for the electricity grid, $66 billion for railways, $65 billion for broadband, $47 billion for climate resiliency, $21 billion for environmental projects, $15 billion for removing lead service lines, $7.5 billion for electric vehicles, and $2 billion for underserved rural areas. Now, again, link in the description below if you'd like to read the descriptions, the details of each of these different allocations for the infrastructure bill. But now let's discuss what's going to be coming with the stimulus reconciliation bill. So right now, as we mentioned, Congress is working away on the second portion of this package, the stimulus reconciliation human infrastructure spending bill. There's so many different names for it. But you guys, right now, we're hearing, people are asking me every single day, what's included? What's involved in this? Am I eligible to receive the provisions? And right now, we actually don't know. They're working on modifying it at this very moment because Democrats, progressives, and moderates, ones that want to see a lot of spending and ones that don't want to see very much at all, they're working a way to try to come to some sort of agreement to pass this through. So we actually don't have all the details yet, but we do have the overall price tag, and we know that there's a bill, and we're hearing it's going to be around somewhere between 1.75 trillion to 2.1. Now, also, we're waiting to see how this is going to be impacting our economy. They're waiting for what's called a CBO score, or the Congressional Budget Office analysis, to see how this will impact the nation's economy, inflation, debt, all of how this will essentially go out and impact our economy. Now, take a look, you guys. This is the latest on what's happening right now. Tensions abate as Dems await the cost of the social spending bill. Progressives and moderates seem to have reached a tentative peace as they look toward a vote at the end of this week. So sounding very encouraging and good for the spending bill. Listen to this. House Democrats have returned to Capitol Hill this week to vote as soon as Thursday, in just 2 days, on President Joe Biden's roughly $1.75 trillion social spending bill, with the party's warring factions seemingly appeased. So it sounds like they have finally managed to come together, and they're saying they're going to get this done. Now, unlike most other points in the party's twisting, drama-filled saga that consumed much of the year, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi and her lieutenants are no longer staring down a rebellion that jeopardizes the bill. Those tensions between progressives and moderates have largely dissipated, at least for now, after leaders from both sides reached a midnight truce less than 2 weeks ago during the passage of Biden's other major legislative priority, the one we just saw him sign, the $550 billion infrastructure bill. So it's sounding very good for the passing of the stimulus reconciliation bill. We're going to get all the details. I will be sure to let you know. And a lot of people are saying, is there checks? Is there unemployment? What's included? We're hearing right now a fourth federal level check and unemployment extensions of PUA, PEUC, and the boost are not included. Now, also, though, President Joe Biden has let us know there will be another stimulus reconciliation bill coming next year, a 2022 follow-up. And he said whatever doesn't make it in this one will be in the next one. Now, will there be checks? Will there be unemployment in that second one? I don't know. We will see. I think it all depends on the status of the pandemic, the economy, and where things stand. And I will be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. So you guys, that is the latest on stimulus and infrastructure. A lot unfolding. And like I said, I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, smash that like button. Helps me out a ton with the algorithm. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. Consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance, if you like to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. And hit the subscribe button here and turn on the notification bell to stay up to date on economic news unfolding everything. I'll keep you up to speed, and you can come join the viewing community, the Ram fam, we like to call it. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.